Right back at you, MD Hassan. What's up, everybody? Hi, Mrs. Sean Smith. Good to see you guys. Thanks for hopping on. So here we are in the struggle. Let's face it, guys. Most of us immigration people are just in the struggle. It's like, I used to tell clients all the time, like, it's an invisible burden that nobody knows about. It, like, just weighs you down. And people who aren't in this don't have any clue what's going on and how painful it is and how you're just kind of struggling to, like, get somewhere and just, the worst part for me when I meet the new graduates and they're like, when's this going to be over? And I'm like, oh, you got a while to go. And I do a lot of, I've been doing free phone calls forever, right? And I want you guys to know, like, I do free phone calls. One reason I do free phone calls is because it is a struggle, man. And you guys call me and, some of you guys get annoyed that I'm like, okay, got to go fast. But come on, you got to understand. The free phone call time is just for me to just say, hey, what I think really quickly. Get in and get out and give you guys my opinion because you're really just here for my second opinion. You're here to figure out, hey, does he have a better idea? Is there something else I can do? Or is all my research still kind of just point in the exact same direction? This is a great question. Why are you in? Does the government know the benefits of processing employment-based green card sooner? And so, I've actually been struggling with what's going on right now, because what's happening right now is you're seeing a lot of disconnect between Democrat administration and this specific group of interested sort of supporters, right? So what I mean by that, it's a really good question because, Obama was president for 8 years, and there was a point where Obama was, and I'll never forget this article written by an immigration guy, he was in a waiting line. He met Obama, shook his hand, and he says to Obama, "Hey, look, I got a lot of people. Are you really looking at this dream program, or are you looking at doing something X, Y, or Z?" And Obama just shook his hand and said, "Let me guess, you're an immigration attorney." It's like, yeah, I am. And he just shrugged at him and walked on, right? And I'll never forget that story because that story is about essentially a sort of a negative connotation that Obama had when it came to the individuals or the industry that represents people fighting for immigration rights. And it bothers me, and it sort of bothered me then, and it bothers me now because I see that there's a tone deafness from the Biden administration. There's a tone deafness because they're sort of like, oh yeah, immigration, oh yeah, there's something. Oh yeah, it's a political thing. Let Congress solve it. Or, we'll do some of these small things. We'll do a speed up, or we'll do a USCIS thing, or we'll change the procedures or we'll change the fees, all these small solutions, and none of them are like big solutions. And for that reason, Obama, 8 years of Obama, followed by 4 years of Mr. Jackass, and we're now at a place where the Indian green card situation is ridiculous. I focus on that because that's a lot of my clients. I focus on that because it's also an example of the number one legal immigration problem. It is the number one legal immigration problem. I have clients, I have companies, they file papers, they get their employees approved, we get it done, they're satisfied. It takes them 6, 12 months, they're like, okay, I can do that. 18 months on a perm, 2 years, oh, you know what, I don't mind, I'll do that, right? So those are people responding to a reasonable immigration system where it takes 2 years, in the good days, 18 months, in the really good days, 14 months to get a green card filed all the way to work permit. But none of that occurs for the Indian group. The Indian group is instead this process of multiple years and multiple H-1Bs along with all sorts of other things. And so what I guess I'm saying is that I believe I've been watching Biden and my disappointment has been kind of growing. And it's growing because there's a tone deafness. And tone deafness is break immigration up into the things, all the things, and what they are. It's not just one word, immigration. Honestly, Dreamers and H-1Bs or H-4 EADs are completely different. They're totally different. One is a societal problem that was caused by our border, by the history of the United States, and a desire to take advantage of low-skilled workers in the farm industries. To be honest, that's what it is. That's what America has done. And we've done it forever, okay? And that's the Dreamers, that's the SAW programs and some of the programs you might not know about. And the H-2Bs and whatever. H-2As, sorry. Now, what about age outs on the H-4 process? What about H-4 EAD delays for 13 months? What about green card processes that take 12 years? What about people having zero flexibility in their careers and the ability to move on and make something more? Because one history that is very, very clear with immigration is there is a history of immigrants from, I mean, Einstein was an immigrant, right? I mean, I'm citing some of the best people, but it doesn't matter. Elon Musk is an immigrant. These are people that come from other countries, wherever they may be, and they make changes here. And it's not new. It's gone on forever. And immigrants have been people who have established and done great things. So why are we ignoring that? Why is that like throw that out? So when the question is, in case you're just chiming in, the question does the government know the benefits of processing employment-based green cards sooner? There's literally analysis from economists out there. There are numbers in the $100 billion, $1 trillion impact on the economy, positive impact on the economy. So, I mean, I read it. Yeah, I know that. I mean, I stay abreast of what's happening in this community because, you guys are my people. You're my clients and the companies I work with. And so do they know? I think so. I think there's some element of knowing, but I think that the political game is so bankrupt and so sort of morally bankrupt that we're in a place now where 3 senators are really doing everything, right? Durbin, who is in some sort of world where he wants everything to be a way that he's chosen it to be. He's sort of a stopgate on the Judiciary Committee in the Senate, and he won't let certain things come through. And that's it. He wants to have his name behind it or something. We've got Joe Manchin, who's been in part of government for 30 or 40 years, from senator to AG to now the senator from West Virginia, who is directly doing things that hurt his people. He doesn't care. I'm going to call it corruption. I mean, that's the way I look at it from things I've read. But I mean, I don't want to be a name caller. I mean, it's very questionable, his motivations. Motivations don't make sense, and it's questionable. And then on top of that, we've got Sinema from Arizona. And same thing, questionable motivations. She took a trip overseas while these bills were pending. She could have stayed to vote on them. And these two, Sinema and Manchin, are in the news all the time, but it's because they have a chance to do something, which is move a legislative agenda forward, and they're not. Okay, that was 5 minutes. I'm done. But do they know? I don't know what to say. Government knows, and it's bullshit what's happening. All right, my case said activity reviewing by USCIS. Do you know how long the case can take in Nebraska? Yeah, it takes 2 years. If you're in Nebraska on a 601A filed outside while you're outside the United States, it's going to take 2 years. If you have something else in Nebraska, you look at the process for that. Under review, final review, ET, etc. What are these terms per EMA agents? Does it mean visa numbers and is waiting? Oh, okay. That's a good question. So under review is a way to say that if it's USCIS under review, it's a way to say that you finished any kind of RFE or anything else, okay? Or it's been paid in, biometrics have been done, and it's kind of in its stage of review. Now, whether they're waiting for the visa bulletin change will be up to the visa bulletin, and you have to check that. You have to go look, is the visa bulletin moving back and forward? Do I miss out on my time? They know, and they'll automatically stop your case, and you won't go forward after that, okay? So if it's under review and the visa bulletin's doing that, then you need to just keep that in mind, okay? They're not going to check that for you. But under review can be anything in that category. Yeah, under review means they won't make it approved if there's no visa bulletin or no visa number available. Can labor process H-1B work side by side? Both processes happening at the same time. 100%, Eddie. Great question. I'm going to jump into that really quickly. The H-1B is the number one visa that is dual intent. Dual intent means that in the legislation itself, and whenever we say legislation, we mean the statute. Remember, there's always a statute, which is the INA. Then we have regulations. Regulations are promulgated from a statute. If it's in a statute, it's stronger, okay? And below regulations, we have policies. Policies by USCIS, which means they've chosen to interpret the law a certain way. So USCIS has chosen to interpret dual intent for E-visas and some and O's in general to have a dual intent and allow you to do a green card while you're on that visa. But the H-1B and the L-1 are the only two that have a statutory dual intent in them. And statutory dual intent means that you can do the visa, you can travel on it in and out, you can do a green card all the way to the end, you can be waiting on the green card, and that's allowed, okay? That's permissible. So what I would say is on those cases that it is 100% possible, it is, there are dual intent, and they do work side by side. Keep in mind that one of the most important factors in a PERM case or a labor certification, the ETA 9089, is the employer's ability to pay, okay? ability to pay ATP is essential to winning a green card case. So what you want to do is when you're on an H-1B, you want to know what your salary range is, and you want to make sure that your perm case, your labor cert, really encompasses that salary and hits it on the mark, because that's the key ingredient to the whole green card process, the employer's ability to pay. Okay. Jax 0096. Is it taking longer to get your visa when you go to Juarez? No, the Juarez visa process is not taking longer. The line to get to Juarez is taking a lot longer. And what I mean by that is that the appointments are coming out with 3 or 4 weeks notice for Juarez, which is kind of crazy. We got one last week for November 4th or 3rd. It was insane, right? It's like 3 weeks away. And we're getting those very late, and we're not getting as much chance to choose your appointment. So the Juarez system is a little bit of a mess that way. I don't recall there being a difficult time in getting your visa back. Generally, I tell clients it's about a month you spend in Ciudad Juarez, but most often we're seeing 3 weeks or less. So I will have to check in on that and get back to you about that. And what is processing time for Ciudad Juarez? So let me send a chat out. It will come back. Is CDJ processing time taking longer than 3 weeks? All right, let's see if they get back to us on that. Hi, can I have a consultation with you? Hey, Eddie, everybody. Hey, look, everybody. I still do free consults. I keep saying it's going to change, but it really is. It's really going to change. I can't, I mean, I talk to people as fast as I can, and I kind of get, it's not nice, but part of it is, I have 30 or 40 phone calls a day, and I got to call in 5 minutes, so I got to get off the phone. If you go to our TikTok and you hit the link on top, you'll see a phone number to call. You're going to get our call center, and you just say Sumeet, and you should know it's a gig call. The gig calls get booked with me. Gig is actually a division within a bigger law firm that I'm at, Los Angeles Immigration Attorneys, but I run the gig department, and it's my team, and so you'll get me. All right. Hey, DQ Yadu, do you recommend applying for OPT to EB, GC instead of H-1B first, and how does that work? Man, lots of really, really good questions. 100% yes, I recommend that. I recommend going from OPT to straight to green card. If you're non-Indian and you have OPT and STEM OPT, you should talk to an attorney right away. There is a little bit of a hiccup there, right? Because F1s are not dual intent. But the truth is, like, I have done those in the past with STEM OPTs and gotten people green cards just straight away from their OPT using their 27, whatever it is, 29 months, and gotten green cards from that. So I recommend it. How it works is you need an employer, you need to do a perm process, you got to file it. And remember, a perm's going to take 18 months. Okay. Well, it's going to take 12 months, sometimes 13 months, sometimes 10 months. And that's processing time with your 30 to 60, 90 days to 4 months of advertisements. So there's a lot that has to be done. So that's how it works, man. I mean, that's how it goes. And you always have the H-1B for you if you want to sign up for the lotteries every time. All right. Why are you in? Australia, Canada, EU are opening skilled immigration. If U.S. don't keep up, H-1Bs are moving out. I agree. Hey, man. I mean, great conversation. I agree with you. I've actually been watching that really closely. And, every single story you read about on Twitter about a doctor or an engineer or, with a family sick of waiting 12 years and they leave, there are probably 10 more of those happening, within that week, or within that month. On top of that, the move by companies to an overseas office is growing. Way back when I started, Microsoft opened up a campus in Canada, and they fought with the H-1Bs with USCIS until the Microsoft H-1B is the easiest H-1B ever. It's just a letter by Microsoft says I deserve an H-1B, and so that's going to be important. That's going to be important. So we do have a question here about the U.S. Embassy in Port of Spain, Trinidad, introduced the EB3 cases. I don't, and that's the kind of thing where our team, when we have those things, we do stuff like call them. I mean, that's just, if your lawyer's not going to go and call the local number or wake up at 7 a.m. or whatever it is, that's what you need. You need to call, see what you can do. You can do some emailing, but that doesn't make a ton of sense. One bit of hope for you guys who are waiting for appointments is that the lawsuit that they lost, right? They lost a lawsuit to the Department of State about their whole scheduling process and them not processing visa applications. So that should be fixed pretty soon. So you might see the gates opening on some of those interviews. Um, um, I wish there were more prominent vocal presence for the green card on Asian backlots. I kind of do too. Honestly, I'm not. I mean, I'm not such a big presence in social media or anything like that. And I think the people that I follow, the ones you guys all follow on Twitter, are making noise as much as they can. And it's come down to the handful of employment-based attorneys that actually have connections in DC. There's a very small group of those on the East Coast, and they're not the big firms. It's not, the Fragamans and Berryman, Appleman, Leiden, whatever that is, and a couple of the other ones. It's really some of the smaller ones who work hard on these things because they actually understand the human story behind this. And it's really what's lost. The word immigration, and one of the reasons I do this and we do a lot of our stuff and I try to tell stories is that the word immigration is this like, it's become a word that automatically people, change their opinion. Their guard goes up, they put the cotton in their ears, they stop listening. You can't even say immigration because it evokes these different kinds of responses. And what I think is it's because I live this. Is immigration is not that. It is human beings, right? And it's human lives behind that. And that's from day one that I started immigration. I liked immigration law for one reason. It's about human lives, right? And human lives are about people, and people matter. Everybody matters. I mean, there's some bad people out there, of course, but people matter. And when people matter and you think that way, then you try a little bit more, right? Then you give more value and respect to individuals and what's happening in that. And I think that's what I mean by tone deafness. I think the Biden administration is tone deaf, and I'm freaking sick of it, right? I'm sick of them like just not doing anything. In fact, understanding the political system here, I believe that, I have a strong belief, and I don't want it to happen, but I have a belief that Trump wing is going to win the interim elections, and we're going to lose the House, the Democrats. And with that in mind, there's zero going to happen that's going to be positive for immigration. So that's where I'm at, and that's where I'm at. All right, Prince Patel, and I'm going to have to leave this call in a couple minutes. Prince Patel, sir, did you start giving bona fide work permit to the U visa holders yet? Yeah, they did. Yeah, we got them starting in July. Hello, sir. The USCIS has postponed the RFP response date. Basically says, yes, they did. It's still going. JD Camp, current since September 2021. Retrogress from number 1. PD is 2013. Underview per Emma. Visa number allocated. Oh, wow. If your visa number is allocated, then under review means that, I don't know what you're under review for. Maybe your medical or something like that hasn't been done. I got robbed last year at gunpoint last year. U visa is good. Hey, give me a call, Lubin. I'll do your U visa for you. Neil Rast, if you have H-1B and you're already in USA, can you apply for visa anytime, or is there a time frame? No, you should as long as your office, your employer set it up right, you can apply for the visa overseas pretty much at any time, as long as your status is valid. Who am I? Earth? Boy, it's who am I, guys? Got a lot of accounts. Is there no for Indian H-1B couples with perm date of 2021? I don't want to answer your question. There's always hope, man. Come on. There's always hope. Keep hope alive. How long perm application takes to get approved for H-1B holder? From 6 to 12 months. Perm versus diversity visa program, which one is faster? Perm versus diversity visa has very narrow time window. It's hard to get. I applied I-130 spouse resident visa. Can she submit DV lottery? She can. I would never do that. It's a waste of time. DV lottery has a very strange time period where you get the DV number and you have like 3 or 4 months to get your green card actually allotted to you before October 1st. And that's very, very hard to do with the COVID. And that a ton of those were lost last year. How are you, sir? Can you talk about Biden immigration plan C? Is there any update? Hey, Joy Tariq, MO3. You're awesome. Thank you so much. I'm doing well. The Biden immigration plan, is there an update? There's no update right now. Plan C. Parliamentarian sucks. I don't think we're getting anything through. I'm waiting for actually better news on anything like that. Shorter answers, you want to talk about too much. Yeah, I'm doing that on purpose actually today. I'm giving long answers because I feel like talking, not because I feel like answering lots of questions. You're losing your audience. Oh, thanks. You should come join my team here. So happy to have you advising me. I thought I ran for 16 months ago. Haven't heard back yet. What should I do? Oh, you should file a lawsuit. That's 16 months is ridiculous, and 400 you should be done. If you're OPT and starting this October on H-1B, can you apply for green card, and where's a good time? Yep, you can do it now. Get on it. A student and F1 eligible for DV lottery. Yes, you are. All right, guys. You guys are awesome. I always appreciate anybody who comes to listen to me. 22 people, 20 people, doesn't matter. I know someone's out there telling me I'm losing my audience. I don't know why you're trying to make me feel bad, man. Some of the people who troll, like, try to throw sticks and stones too, man. Come on. Be cool. Guys, I do this for free. I'm going to continue doing it for free. And we will be back soon. I've got a call to make, and I have one of you guys, free consult, who's got a call at 1:30, and I'm gonna take that call right now. Hey, you guys, thanks so much for checking in. You're awesome. You're very, very, very informed and super helpful. Stay safe. Talk to you soon. Bye.